Welcome to On the Other Side Paranormal Podcast. We live in a world governed by what we can touch, see, and measure. But what about the parts of us that exist just beyond the veil? Today, we're bridging the gap between the ancient and the visual. We are joined by the Blue Bodhi, a practitioner of ancestral wisdom and energy healing. She is also an aura artist who captures the invisible frequencies of the human spirit on canvas. Tonight, we're asking, what does your soul actually look like? How does modern life stain our energy? And most importantly, how do we heal the parts of ourselves we can't even see? Take a deep breath. We're going deep. Let's dive in.
What is up, everybody? I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
And we are On the Other Side Paranormal Podcast. See a couple of you guys in here. Make sure you drop who's in here in the comments so we know. We've got a super special grand time. Yes, you are on time.
Grand time is
What's
here.
What's going on?
Are you serious? She's the first one.
I love it. It's a snow day, so none of you have an excuse for being late tonight. Because everybody has been stuck in the house in this ice apocalypse.
I was almost late because I was playing in the snow.
Yes, you were.
I'm not going to lie. I was playing in the snow.
Sean was terrorizing the neighborhood with the four-wheeler.
If I'm not terrorizing something, then I'm not doing my job, baby.
But
we live.
Unfortunately, we watched 2 attempts for snowplows to come down our street. Both attempts failed. They had to get pulled back up the street and out of here.
That other guy, Country Boys, can't survive.
Oh, yeah. I think our neighbor hired like some private guy to come and plow.
Old dude came down the street and tore it up. He got it done.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did. So, wait for a few people to come on in here.
Our street's still kind of
Let me know, too, in the comments where you guys are at and how much snow you guys got. Super curious. Yeah. Where's all my people? Normally Ronnie would be like, I'm here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ronnie's always here. But yeah. Well, we can go ahead and get started. That's fine. I know everybody's time is valuable and stuff like that. But tonight, we've got a super special guest. Some of you may know her. Some of you may not. If you don't, you're going to know her by the end of tonight.
I'm sure most people know her.
Okay. She is a social media mogul is what I'm going to call her. She is an icon in the social media spiritual world. She participates, and I don't even know. I will let her tell you all of her shows because she has so many when she's live. Let's welcome to On the Other Side Paranormal Podcast, the Blue Bodhi.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hey. Hi,
How are you? So
Good.
how much snow did you guys get up there?
We actually didn't get a whole lot of snow. It stopped right around about, I think the total was like 4.5 inches, but it topped with like an inch of ice.
Which
So, yeah, it's
that's
just terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Grand
All we
Time
got
said we probably got 7 inches with a lot of ice on top. Now, where are you at again? Maryland or something?
I'm in Tulsa.
Okay.
So yeah. So Oklahoma.
That's right. She's in Oklahoma. I think Grand Time's in Maryland. Robert, we live, baby.
We live, baby.
I'm gonna put some of the comments on the screen. If I see one or catch one that is directed, I'll be like, hey, do you see that comment? Robert said 2 eggs. Yes, we were talking about a town the other night on my face or on TikTok Live. There's a town called 2 Egg, Florida. I didn't even know that existed.
Okay, that's kind of funny. That's kind of
So
funny.
it was pretty hilarious. And then we went down the rabbit hole of finding funny towns in the U.S. James Brady with
Dude,
Spirit Led Paranormal.
What's up, James?
Got Amy. There's Ronnie. I knew Ronnie was coming. I said, where is Ronnie? Shout out to Bedford Paranormal.
He put his hey dudes on.
Psychic medium Rhonda Harris. What's going on with Fredericksburg Paranormal?
She's not running from me tonight.
That's because it was her birthday. So she's still in
Go,
birthday
Shawty.
mode.
It's your birthday.
We got Badlands Paranormal. We live, baby.
We live. Welcome,
You have
y'all.
no idea who that is, do you?
Yes, I do know who that is. That's my man Cody in the house.
That's right.
Come on now, y'all. I know
Michael
who my people are.
Michael
Come
Brooks
on.
with Fredericksburg Paranormal. Okay, Grand Times in South Central PA.
South Central.
Isn't that where like Fresh Prince was? Or was that South Central LA?
No, he was in South Central PA.
He was somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get through
That's
all
where
of
the
these
Doss
guys.
house is.
Yeah. Yep. The Doss house is over there. Ronnie said I lived in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma for a while.
I'm sorry.
She said,
Let me cut my volume up. I could barely. Oh, that's right. I cut it down the other night when we were.
Yeah, Courtney has the volume all the way down.
No, I do not.
All the time. I guess because I talk so loud.
Yeah, you're hollering.
You know how black people talk real loud.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Loud. Black people.
Michelle Wilfong with the haunted apartment. It is official, Cody. I'm so happy to see that you guys have made it official.
I love to see new teams pop up. That means the field is growing. I love it.
Yes, yes. So, the Blue Bodhi. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got your name. I've been curious about that for a while.
Everybody asks me about the name, and there's not really an answer. In 2013, I woke up on New Year's morning, wanting to learn Reiki, wanting to learn about Buddhism, like all these things that, you hear about them growing up, you hear about them, just in passing in movies and whatever. And so I thought, you know what, let me look into that. And that started the Reiki journey and the Buddhist journey. And then around 2018, 2019, I had a couple of really big major life events and things shifted. And I was stepping out into the spiritual community bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, Mandy is my government name, and I've never really liked it. Like, I don't feel like a Mandy, like even saying it sounds like I'm talking about somebody else. And I was trying to figure out what to do. And everybody always asks if I picked the name because of the Buddhist ties. Yes, but I really liked the movie Point Break back in the day. And I've always wanted to, I liked that name. But I rotated around a few different ones, and whenever I chose this name, I really didn't feel like I deserved it, because if you know what a bodhisattva is in Buddhism, it is somebody who gives up their own enlightenment to help other people find enlightenment. And so I was like, man, that's a pretty tall bill. Like, I don't know that I deserve that, and I kind of just tentatively used it for a little bit. And finally I had someone who had been a client for a long time. Her daughter had come and gotten a reading about something very, very important to her in college and so on. And she wrote a paper and put something in the paper about me. And her mom brought it to me, and she was like, you literally are. She was like, all you do is try to help people, even if it's just go read this book. She was like, you're helping other people. And sometimes, at the expense of, yourself. So yeah, the blue just kind of fell into line with it.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I 10 out of 10 thought it had to do with the hair. Like the first time I saw you, I was like, okay, she got her name because like her hair's blue.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, that's cool. What's up, Ryan? Ryan, I got to give a shout out to Ryan Jones. He is with the freaking awesome Paranormal Show. You guys have got to get the Blue Bodhi on y'all's show. He airs at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays on the Riff Nation Network. The freaking awesome Paranormal Show.
Get the Bodhi.
That's right. Get the Bodhi. We're going to start.
Hashtag get the Bodhi.
We're going to start
with that, because some people are going to take that too far.
Hey, you got security here.
I was going to say, so your personal security guy is sitting right next to me for creep it.
We'll wrap him up.
So
we'll wrap him up.
Oh, did Shauna give you a rundown of the crazy people?
Like, she gave me
I heard.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll wrap him up.
Yep. Sean said when he heard everything, he was just like, I got this. I'm good. Yeah. Sean is head of security for all of the festival. Like that's his baby. She is just like, it's yours. Find the people. Sean has a specially curated team of off-duty law enforcement, I should say. So I think everybody's going to be really safe Fredericksburg Paranormal Research and Investigations, aka FPRI in the house.
What up?
Yes, Ryan, no. We never take it too far on either of our shows. We are very well-mannered and behaved individuals.
They take it too far. Brian and Courtney.
But I do have a few questions just to kind of get. So me and you had an extensive conversation a couple weeks back, and I was absolutely fascinated with some of the practices that you do. So much so that I went when we got off the phone and I'm a Google queen. So I'm like, what is aura? What is this? What is this? Right? So I'm like going through and I just down the rabbit hole I went. I mean, there's so many like branches. It's like a tree. So tell us a little bit about what you do. So I know you have multiple shows. You go live multiple times a week and things like that. So if somebody was to say, what is your job title, or so to speak, how do you describe yourself?
I usually stumble through that as best I can. A lot of times I will just tell people like, oh, you know, I'm the blue-haired woo-woo lady that knows the things, you know. I'm like Tyrion Lannister. Like, I know the things, I just don't drink. So, I mean, I drink tea. So I guess I can say that, but, you know, I don't know that there is a word to describe. I do a lot of shamanic work, so that fits. I'm a very unique type of aura artist, so that fits. You know, am I a witchy lady? Yes, so that fits. So I don't know that there is a very easy way to define what I do. And I think the other reason that it's hard to define it is because I've done the majority of it my whole life. So,
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I don't know that there's a good solid answer for that. So I had to have somebody else write the stuff on my website because I can't.
That is okay. So we've got Dinner with a Ghost in the house, aka the Hair, John Cushman. When I first met this guy, it was actually a funny story. I had no idea that he himself was a celebrity. He like walked from like California to where?
New York to California.
It was like New York to California back in like the 80s.
I'm pretty sure he inspired that part in Forrest Gump. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm almost willing to bet money.
Like, they've got documentaries on this guy. I like did not believe him. I had to look him up. I'm like, please, nobody like in their sane mind would walk from one end of the country to the other, but he did it, and it was documented like via media. It was the most awesome thing I've ever heard.
Actually,
but he did it for a cause, and that's what I loved. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, John, because it's been a while since we chatted, but I believe you walked for MS. 1977, he walked from New York to San Diego. That's right.
Wow.
What's up, Andrew?
It's like all over the news and stuff.
Yeah, it was a big, huge deal.
And he was the owner of the Octagon Mansion.
Yep, Octagon Mansion.
A very haunted location.
I've never heard of that.
And he traveled like all around the country doing dinner with a ghost. That's what he does.
Yep.
He hosts these dinners where he tries to communicate with the dead. It's pretty cool. We actually participated in Gettysburg with it.
You know, Bodhi would be a good addition to Dinner with a Ghost.
Dinner with a Ghost and Bodhi working together.
Cushy, call me later. I got somebody. We can set up some Dinner with a Ghost.
Bodhi's like, y'all are...
you know,
I'm down, man. Come on.
It does align. It aligns.
It does actually. Now I didn't think about
it.
That.
Does
that would
align.
actually be one hell of a.
Because he like sets up all the little crystals and like sets up the element. Like that would be one heck of a dinner with a ghost.
Crystals, like
I am like trying so hard not to sneeze right now. I know I look dumb.
That would be a good combination.
Oh my God.
Actually, I never thought about that.
Cody said, I don't even like walking to the kitchen. Me neither. Well, no, that's not true. When I'm snowed in.
Look, I'm a big dude. Walking to the kitchen is like walking to the candy store. Let me tell you something.
I knew it was going to happen.
I like walking to the kitchen.
Oh, Lord. All right. So back to the show here. So you had touched a little bit on aura readings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I know when we were on the phone, what's up, Sam from Wyoming?
What's up, Sam?
Define aura. What does it look like? Is it like a literal glow? Is it a feeling or like a download of colors? Like define aura.
So the aura corresponds with the body's electromagnetic field. So it is something you can see. It's something that anybody can see. It's not just, oh, I have the power and you don't. And anybody can train themselves to see the aura. But it coincides with the body's electromagnetic field. And what's really interesting is getting into all the physics and the psychology and so on. It actually coincides with the layers of the psychology aspect of the mind. So like the self, the emotions, the mental state, all those. But the aura is just layers of the outside area of you. And so my fingers are cold. I have an electric blanket on my lap. So that's why I keep putting my hands in my lap. I'm so sorry. I'm like, my fingers are freezing. Usually I'm like this. So let's do that. But with the aura, I don't know how many of you guys played the game in school where you had a friend and you did this in the middle of your hand for a while, and then you did that, and you could
oh my
feel
gosh.
something. Yes, that you're playing with your aura. When you do that, you're playing with the body's electromagnetic field. The hands have a bunch of chakras on them, so what you're doing is activating that, so getting that energy center, and then literally like magic, like pulling the, we all thought it was fun and school or whatever, and how cool it was to feel that, but that's exactly what you're doing. So the aura sits on top of your physical self and coincides with different colors. Most people, when you learn to see auras, you just see one layer, which is usually the outermost layer, what you can see. If you've ever seen aura photography, then you've seen some people have different colors or shapes or whatever to it. The aura is like your electromagnetic fingerprint. So it's not going to be the same with everybody. You might be red and, Shelly down the road might be red, but there's going to be different thicknesses, different shades, different sizes, all of that stuff. So did that answer your question?
I got to stop you really quick. I got sent a video the other day of your little orb friend, and I think he just flew by.
Oh, yeah. I was going to tell you, if last night on my live stream,
I got to show you the videos. It's insane.
My best friend calls me a booger beacon, just so you know. But last night on my live stream, it was like this entire part of my camera, or it was like this big, went like that, to the point that it shocked the shit out of me. I paused and was like, "What?"
She was like midstream. I need to show Sean. I wonder if I can send it and pull it up for everybody. So I saw one. Yeah, you got a friend.
I have a lot. So I have Manny. That's Manny sitting right there. He was an unclaimed cremains, the little blue box. So I was like, well, I'll take you home and you can be on TV. But
you took home somebody's.
Let me just really, really badly move the camera for a minute.
That's okay. Look, this is a no bars held podcast over here.
All the dolls. I also have a whole bunch of things in my house. I have an electric chair handle out there. I have a papoose that was given to me because it cannot stay in one place longer than 6 months. I've had it for 3 years now. I have a lot of very weird relics that I've picked up in my travels around the United States. So having orbs around me is not anything big, but they've been very active the last few days.
Yeah, I'm over here. I'm showing Sean the video as you're talking, and he's like, "Oh, I see it." But I had to laugh because
that's huge.
Yeah, I had to laugh because I messaged Shauna when she sent it to me, and she said, "What do you think?" Because we send evidence back and forth, right? And she said, "What do you think?" And I said, "That dude pulled up hey, I'm a Leo. What's my horoscope for the week? I need to know."
The one did she send you both of them? Because one went like that and one literally was like this.
One goes straight down.
I ought to pull my Facebook and then share my screen with you guys so you guys can see this. It was actually the way it moved. And I know Ronnie's in here. What's up, Emily with Lost Souls PI?
What's up, Emily with the live?
Dr. Odell with ASPS.
You got Daryl Paulette in here.
I'm going to see. Do I have Shauna's message?
Shout out Bedford Paranormal and Daryl Paulette with the Appomattox County Jail and the Spirit of Clover Hill.
County Jail, you say?
Bodhi,
Yes.
you need to come to Virginia. We need to get Bodhi.
I do. You know, that's one of the few states I haven't been to. I've literally been all around it, but not Virginia.
So Bodhi, this is a true story. I'm sorry, I should be calling you by your full name, the Blue Bodhi, but
No, you're good. I answered the Bodhi. I answered the Blue.
So
wait till you see these, Michelle.
So the Appomattox County Jail here in Virginia, there's a few locations that I talk about just because they've shown me a different kind of activity that I can't figure out.
Bullhorn. Oh, sorry.
Courtney's pulling up.
I was cueing the video.
So the county jail, I've never been big on the dolls, right? Never been big on them. But we were investigating with Unique Paranormal, and Danielle hands me this damn doll.
She did. She walked up. She said,
"She goes,
the doll wants to talk to you."
And I'm like, for some reason, every investigation, now mind you, I'm a pretty big dude, and I'm covered in tats. I don't look like the kind of person kids want to just speak to. But even in real life, kids, for some reason, come to me all the time. It's weird. So Danielle says he wants to talk to you. So I'm like, okay, like it's weird, whatever. I kid you not. The energy in the room completely just flipped. Like the energy just changed. And I'm holding this damn doll, and I'm like, it's weird. The weirdest thing happened. I could hear the doll talking to me in my head. I know this sounds.
Let me dial 988, the behavioral health hotline for Virginia. I'm just kidding.
Listen, I work in the mental health field, and I fully believe it takes a little bit of screws, loosen up to work with these guys. But
we talk to the air, so yeah.
I will say, it was weird. I could almost, I had both hands on the doll. Right?
At first, he was holding it like this, like it was like a Victorian sickly child, like that he didn't want to get near him. And then
I was like, this is stupid. I'm like, this is really, this is stupid. I'm sitting here holding the doll and talking to it. But then I could hear this voice in my head, like the doll was talking to me. I was ready to launch the damn doll. I was ready to launch the doll. But then...
I'm a big doll fan. I like dolls.
But then, I got a whole collection of dolls right here, believe it or not. I know this is I'm sounding very hypocritical right now.
I collect Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls.
I sound very hypocritical. I got a whole
Howie said, well, Big Daddy.
So,
Daryl would have drop kicked the
Daryl was standing beside me, and Daryl will tell you the energy in the room changes.
Daryl backed all the way up. He was not
I'm not a huge guy on equipment, but the equipment started responding to everything I was saying.
Yes.
I kid you not.
We had yes/no balls behind his head on the mantle, and Shauna, Danielle, and I were asking questions, and whatever was going on was responding via the yes and the no cat balls behind his head.
I think that place is a good place for you to.
Daryl said I was way behind you.
I'm down. All I need is an invite. I'm down. I'm down
anytime. You don't need an invite. Just call me and be like, "Hey, I'm in VA." I'll be like, "Come on."
I'm apparently going to be spending a lot of time up there this summer, so there's a lot of places that I want to hit, and then I keep hearing about others, and I'm like, let's go there too. Let's go there too. Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it. Guys, I do want to queue up really quick before we get back on, because I have several questions to tag. There's another friend of yours. Yep. To tag onto your aura topic. But I want to show, because I've got my friend Ronnie in here that doesn't believe in orbs at all.
He admitted to a few of them, though.
Yeah, he said maybe a few.
I have never seen anything like this, and I can't explain it.
So, this is a snippet from her live. When was this? Last night?
Last night.
Yeah. This is a snippet from her live last night. I love how I completely pause it right there. Let's share a video file here. All right, here's one.
Horn this week. By the way, if you guys need some help, there it is. There it is. There it is.
Her face
I like
is
how
priceless.
she stopped and watched it.
Yeah, she just follows it down.
Mm-hmm. And then I got excited because I was like...
But then gets a big cheesy smile. I love it.
So that was the second one. The first one,
My friend
That was cool
is
as
here.
fuck.
All right. So let's oh, wait. What am I trying to? No, I almost kicked Bodhi. Hold on. There she is. Lord, I'm removing the wrong thing here. All right, and then here's another one.
Yeah, I was. I do zodiac reads. I do zodiac reads, and now my camera. As soon as the orbs start, my camera is gonna start. I'm just letting you know. I have a trickster that
I just
picked
saw
up
it do
at
that
the
right when
church
she
I
said
bought.
that.
His name is Jerry. His name is Jerry, so he's kind of a fucker. Like, I'm just saying, like he's kind of a yeah.
Now here's the second one.
You have not been on the wrong path, Aries. Okay, you have not.
Okay, so this is the first one.
This is a week. You're going to feel powerful. You're going to be happy. You're going to be kind of like floating around. What the hell is on? What was that?
The crazy thing is it was right when she said floating around, like, and then here it comes.
Tell me y'all on YouTube saw that.
Like, I just want to make sure I wasn't crazy. I'm like, tell me y'all saw that. Like,
Chew, excuse me. I knew it was going to happen.
That was the first one, and the other one is about, I want to say 10
All
minutes later. The one that does this.
Yeah, so I think that this guy, and I keep for some reason calling it a guy. I'm about to roast out with this heater in here. But I said, I told Shauna, I said that man came in because he wanted a zodiac reading. That's exactly why he was there. He was like, you're talking about Aries and I am a Leo. Like, what is my horoscope for the week? So
like a wrecking ball.
James said the one I saw was full of color, but not that big. Oh, the one he saw in person. Yeah, probably. Cody, he tries to fire me all that time. Michelle said that orb knew its purpose. Now, to give you a little to give you a little background, Michelle Wilfong on YouTube she actually lives in a haunted apartment and documents all of her ghostly activities, and her orb activity is insane, like to the point where her animals actually react to the orbs that arrive on her cameras and things like that. So
hers is daily.
Yeah, hers is daily, and she just goes about her day and, says hi to all of her orb friends.
I mean, that's all you can do, though. Like that's I had a shop in a very, very old building here in Oklahoma that used to be a segregated movie theater that burnt down. Of course, we're gonna be petty, put it in air quotes, burnt down, and it had a lot of activity. And I would get to the point I had something. I'm editing a video, and this is on my YouTube, my TikTok, everything. I was editing a video and it knocked something off the shelf, and I was like, "Look, I don't have time." I mean, I think I threatened to actually, kick them out. Like, I was mad that I was like, "No, I don't have time for you to do this shit." Like, I played you big band music. I've got you whatever, I'm pretty accommodating, but I mean, that's kind of all you can do. I always tell people, like, man, they were there long before you got there, and they're going to be there long after you leave.
That's true.
So, you kind of got to get along.
Exactly. Exactly. But I thought those videos were really cool, and I figured, well, why not? We've got a paranormal show. I got to show them because that's what it is. But yeah, I thought that was neat. I was asleep apparently when you were live, so I woke up to these videos and I'm like, why is Shauna sending me these? Oh shit! Look, I know I rewinded it like 3 times. I had like one eye open when my alarm went off this morning, getting ready for work. But yeah, I do want to go back to your practice with aura. Now you do aura readings, and you also do, which I thought is super cool, aura drawings. Mm-hmm. So what does that take? Like, what does that entail?
So mine's a little different. Mine's not just auras. I also have a couple forms of synesthesia. So one of the forms is chromesthesia. So when I hear things, it's a color. And the other form I have is oh, thank you, James. That kind of crap happens around me all the time. All of those, Ed. Yep, all of them. All of them. Yep. Um, they that crap happens around me all the time. Like it just is what it is. But I have another form of synesthesia that's more rare called tactile visual. So when I touch things, it's a color. So I read buildings as well. Like I can put my hand on a building, and normally for me, because other people have this, colors vary with the person, but for me, anything wood is blue. So I like blue. So obviously, like I live in an older house. I have wood everywhere, right? But I can walk up to a building that's known to have like a lot of haunting activity, paranormal activity, and put my hand on it. And that might be a wood beam that I'm putting my hand on, and it be green or bright red or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you're that kind of building. Like, I see you, but everything that I touch has a color. So when I touch a person, like if I just shake your hand for a minute, I'm going to immediately get whatever color, I feel from touching you. And if I hold someone's hand, I see layers of color. And so those correspond with the layers of the aura that I see with you. It's the craziest thing. And that's what I draw. And I usually use oil pastels because whenever I see them when I'm touching you, they're a lot brighter than if you just see the aura around somebody. So I do that. I studied extensively color theory, the meanings of colors, every single little shade. And then I also studied the layers of the aura and how they sit, where they sit, what does it mean if one is, this big versus like this, and so on. So that's what I do. And I've drawn a ton of different really cool horror stars, celebrities at this point. And it's been really interesting. There used to be about, I think 3 or 4 people in the United States that do what I do. And I think now there's just me. Too. I know a couple of them were very old and passed away, but now it's just me. It's just me.
Now, can auras, like if you read somebody's color, can people mask that? Can it lie to can like somebody fool you, or does energy, like, can that not be hidden? Can that always tell you the truth?
Auras change.
Or like show your true color, so to speak.
Yeah, no. It's always a true color kind of thing. Yeah. Now I've read people that it takes me a second to get down to it or to get across something, but I literally love to be challenged. I've had a lot of people that are like, oh, you can't read mine. Those are the easiest ones to read. When somebody goes, you can't read my aura, bet, bitch. Like, yes, I can. I guarantee you're one of the easiest people to get through. But I've done a lot of drawings over the years where like it took me a minute. That's a little teeny tiny ball down there in the center of that, a little, microscopic square. But while they can change, I mean, is your mental health the same right now as it was when you were going to work in the ice? No, so like, can it change? Yes. But it's really hard to lie to somebody that I have done this for a very long time. And the synesthesia aspect, I've had that for a very long time. I used to do jury consulting a while back because the voice, I can see by the color of your voice what kind of person you are. And once I get to know you, then I can tell when you're lying. I can watch your voice get really, really tiny, so I can tell when you're sick before you even know you're sick. Like your voice looks different to me. And so to answer your question,
I'm gonna need Bodhi to come on over here during the flu season and let me know if I'm about to get sick so I can just start chugging OJ. Yeah, like where were you around COVID? Like we needed you. That's actually
doing the same stuff.
Yeah, that's actually really fascinating to me, and that's what sent me down my little rabbit hole of like all of that. Here goes Ronnie. She already said, look, Ronnie, your color is clear. Okay. You're clear. You're colorless.
I mean, I have shaken hands with a few people that I have learned I'm very cautious of who I touch. Like if you ever saw the show Legion, the girl that touches people and swaps places, like I'm very, very cautious with who I touch with my skin, because sometimes maybe I don't want to see that. And then there for a while I was doing a lot of like really big conventions and everything before I got burnt out. And there was an actor that everybody tried to get, him to get a drawing and so on. Like some, horror villains were trying to get him, and he will avoid me at all costs. That tells me more than anything, like he avoids me at all costs. He will not come within 5 feet of me. He avoids me at all costs. So when something like that happens, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Now, how does that ever affect you going into public? Like, do you ever just walk in somewhere and it's like super overwhelming, like an entire rainbow of colors, and you're just like, this is too much, I got to get out of here? Or like, I'm sure conventions are a big thing.
Yeah. I usually have AirPods in all the time. I play classical music a lot because it's very like old school Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, stuff like that. Because it's very simplistic in the colors, and I'm used to it. So there's not a lot of jarring stuff, but I tell people, seeing the colors, it's like bifocals. Like I'm constantly wearing bifocals. So I'm used to it because it's been that way since I was a kid. So I'm used to it. But I can't handle loud noises at this point in my life. Like any loud noise, I will jump, and I am that person. Like I'm instantly like, let me bust you in the face. Like, what's going on? But like baseball bats, I can't go to baseball games anymore. I used to love baseball. I love baseball games. I can't. The sound of a metal bat versus the sound of a wood bat. The sound of a wood bat is orange to me, but it's like an ice pick that goes right in your, like, I can't do it. So, and the metal baseball bat is this intense, like neon red. So you suddenly have this neon red spike in your vision like this, and you go like this every time. I hate using a hammer. There's nothing more satisfying than like driving a nail in the wall. I can't hardly every time it drives me up the wall. But I found out the hard way in early 2024 that I can no longer go to concerts. My best friend and I were Sass. I don't know if you guys follow me on social media, Sass. We were at Stevie Nicks in New Orleans, and we had to leave at halftime. The noise was so much, and it's like a constant psychedelic trip that I got sick. Like we had to leave. I was so upset. I was so upset. Like,
I was going to say, not Stevie Nicks.
Mm-hmm. But I did get to see Stevie Nicks, so there's that.
Now, if you have your AirPods in, are you able to utilize a hammer or say go to a baseball game, or would you have been able to, finish out the concert if you had your AirPods in? Or
not there, not that concert. That was insanity. There were so many people in there. And even as loud as you get them, I used to be able to wear earplugs to stuff and be okay. And sometimes I still can, but I have to take a lot of breaks. So at conventions and stuff, it gets overwhelming a little bit. And plus, if I'm doing aura readings and I'm constantly touching people, that's not just seeing it, that's all the things at once. So I have to take a lot of breaks. And like, there's some times when I've learned at this phase in my life that not to push it. Like when I'm done, I'm done. And there's days I have to cut short. I'm like, I can't anymore. It's too much. Like I gotta go. I can't. But you can't ever turn it off. And a lot of times, even with headphones, I have my groceries delivered. I don't like going into, anything big concrete stores. Like I can't do it. I will, yeah, but I hate it.
Oh yeah. Hey, so, look, I don't see colors or hear colors, but I still hate it. So I still like, Sean and I have been talking a lot about the more we paranormal investigate, the more that we're able to read people's energy through like vibration.
Yeah.
So like sometimes, and I suffer from RBF so bad sometimes and don't even realize it. So sometimes I'm just looking at somebody like, and I don't even know them. I'm just getting like bad vibes. Mm-hmm. And I'm just waiting for somebody to be like, bitch, what are you looking at? Because sometimes I get stuck and I'm just like, something's wrong with you. But, a lot of the time, not literally loud, but stores, Walmart, things like that. We went out the other day. We had a bunch of running around to do, and we forgot something not once, but twice at Walmart. talk about like stressful. So now we're going for like round 3 to Walmart. And it was just like, I know I looked at Sean and I was just like, this is the last damn time I'm going in here. Like, I got to go home. I need to go home.
Yeah. Walmart's rough.
Cause it's just, it's like,
it's loud.
It's loud, but not like literal, like spiritually loud. It's too much.
I mean, first, gift wise, like you're training that muscle. You're training that you're not going to use your eyes, and you're only, you're going to feel what you feel in a paranormal location. I will trust a paranormal investigator over anybody when they're like, I don't like that person. If a paranormal investigator is like, I don't know what it is, I'm like, that's all I need. That's all I need. You're going through haunted buildings for fun. You're training that muscle, you're training your own energy to sense things. And if you don't like that person, something's wrong. I don't give a shit who it is. Something's wrong. But the other thing, if you think about it, everything has memory. So old courthouses, jails, things with marble and stuff like that, that holds all of that residual energy in there. Walmarts and things like that are all steel and concrete. There's nowhere for that energy to go. It just bounces around in there constantly. There's no escape. What, 2 little tiny doors, maybe a skylight? There's no escape. So that's why I can't be in there.
I read somewhere that a lot of the Walmarts are built on top of bodies. Like, that was one of my 3 a.m. rabbit holes that I went down, that like it was a total conspiracy theory. I don't know if there's any actual fact to it, guys. So please, in the chat, some
of them are.
Do not like send me to trial for telling you guys this. But I read somewhere that like Walmart is literally like within that whole like conspiracy circle of places that strategically pick their locations based on, of course, in this article I was reading, based on like demonic affiliation and stuff like that. Like, it's a whole like enterprise.
I don't believe
I don't know,
because our Walmart on OF is built on top of old Winn-Dixie.
But what was Winn-Dixie before? That's my question.
Woods.
Like, but right. So how many bodies are like in the woods, or how many people might have fell there? I don't know.
I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, so
I don't know, man.
I don't go into conspiracy, because where does conspiracy start with?
Craziness. I know.
I mean, really, at this point on Earth, I don't think you can step anywhere where there hasn't been something that's been hurt.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah, we did a whole podcast, thanks to Ronnie, about where are bodies going, like the amount of people that are dying versus the amount of cemeteries that are around doesn't make any sense. We did a whole podcast on that. And then we did our podcast last week on that exact topic, that buildings and construction holds energy. So, I mean, you are right about that. Walmart is a whole nother breed.
Yeah, I was taught as a kid that you respect the building and the land as much as you respect the people or the entities inside of it. So, like, if I go to a haunted location, I always knock. Always. Like, I don't care what it is. I'll knock on the door of a jail. Like, what's up? I'm coming in. Like, I was taught as a kid to knock, because that's respectful. Like, you don't just barge in someone's room or their house. You would knock, and I always wipe my feet before I go in, and I wipe my feet when I leave, because I don't, whatever needs to stay there stays there. But I was taught, you communicate with the building, with the land, just as much as you communicate with the things that are in it. So
10 out of 10. James said, I can't carry on a conversation with someone in a crowd because I can't ignore all the other people. It's as if my brain wants to hear what everyone else is saying for some reason. I know this is not the same thing, but I get it. No, it is along the same lines, James. It really is, because you're training yourself to be aware of all of your surroundings, as opposed to just locking in on what you're communicating with right then and there. So that's why when we are in a haunted location, we're sitting here and we may be in, the infamous, child's bedroom, and we may be locked in trying to communicate with the little ghost of Sarah, but we heard a knock down the hall, or a door slam downstairs, or footsteps upstairs. We're hearing all of that all at the same time. We're training ourselves to be aware of our surroundings. You know, that's definitely, and the more I do it, the more, as Sean said, louder it gets. The louder it gets. What's up, Brandon?
What's up, Brandon? Thanks for joining us.
Do you ever, let me ask you something, Bodhi. Do you ever see the same thing in repetition, like the same color or the same, like you see the same thing over and over again?
You mean like in people or places?
Correct.
Or
Yeah, people.
not really.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's got more than one color. Like everybody's got at least 6 or 7, depending on the layers of their aura. So not really. The only thing that I started noticing a pattern with was, it was probably 2019, sometime mid 2019. I started noticing that some people were glittery, like part of them was glittery. And I very quickly realized that when I see someone's color that's metallic or glittery, then they've had a near-death experience, that they've physically been dead and had to be brought back by, paramedics or whatever. So
here I was about to get excited that I could sparkle.
Yeah, you don't want the reason why.
I don't want to
the side
sparkle
effects
now.
are cool, but you don't want. Yeah, you don't want it. You don't want it.
Well, that's
I met Tom
disappointing,
Arnold at
guys.
a convention several years ago, and when I shook his hand and hugged him, he's like this gorgeous, like metallic purple, and like out of my mouth, I go, "Oh, you've died." And he's like, by the way, he is the nicest guy I've ever met. He was grinning, laughing the whole, like he is a super, super nice guy. But he just looked at me, kind of cocked his head, and he goes, "I have." Like, it was just really interesting. And the lady that was standing there with him was like, but yeah, it was interesting.
So I don't want to be sparkly, and I don't want to be my whole hopes and dreams crushed in a podcast.
I'm sorry.
So sad. I think you had a question, didn't you?
Yeah, I was wondering, how does social media and smartphones and stuff like that affect your aura? And that's the first question. The second part of that is, you as a social media influencer and a content creator, do you ever have to step away from that so you don't get affected by the things that's going on?
Well, I think everybody gets affected by social media. I have to take constant breaks. I mean, I'm on it a lot and in front of so many people, and that's so much energy. And I always like to like jokingly, kind of throw out a little threat to the trolls, like, I don't care what name you're hiding behind, man. Energy is energy. You said what you said. That's a tie. Every single thing you do is a tie, and you took the time with your energy and your fingers to type that out and send it. Like that's energy. And so it affects me. I just took a hefty break, and then come back to see all the stuff that happened this weekend, and I was regretting life decisions. But so I have to take a lot of breaks. The more that I'm on there, the more I'm comfortable being by myself. I like to be by myself a lot. And I've heard people say, "Oh, well, you must be really lonely." No, it's quiet and it's great and it's glorious. Like, I know what the ghosties are going to do. I'm fine. We're good over here. But I think technology, it affects it really interestingly. I can tell it's not as bad anymore because most people do have headphones and they talk on, AirPods or whatever. But when you have your phone up to your head a lot, that does it almost like dents in your aura. It's the weirdest thing. And I don't know if it's because phones have, magnetic aspects to them or what, but it makes like a dent. It's the weirdest thing, man.
And you see this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
I believe that.
That is actually cool.
I believe that phones and stuff to people's head cause a lot of issues. I believe phones in general cause a lot of issues. I mean, you ever had a phone conversation and then you get on YouTube or anything, and everything that you've talked about, it shows up in ads. You scroll Facebook and it shows up in an ad. Everything you've mentioned to somebody or talk about, all of a sudden it's showing up in ads. Just that part to me is dangerous. And then everything that's emitting from your phone is going into your body. The level, EMF itself. Even a lot of haunted locations that have high EMF are dangerous in my opinion.
We talked about the Exchange Hotel. That's my favorite example of
the
that.
Exchange Hotel in Virginia. There's a room that says if you go in there,
they said no women
can go in there, or because
Really?
they're extremely affected by it. Well, when I went in there with my EMF reader, it's spiking. And I'm like, well, that's why they're affected by it, because the room is full of EMF. And I don't know if they have an EM pump in there. I don't know why that room is high of EMF. But, you know, if they killed all the power in that room, I wonder if it would still affect women the same way. That's why I would like these haunted locations. I would love for them to kill all the power to it and let's investigate that. Mm-hmm. Do an old school investigation, cut all the power off, and let's do the same investigation and see if it's still haunted.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done that though at Rainworth and Gettysburg. Yeah. We've unplugged everything out of the walls. We've like cut everything off, unplugged the Wi-Fi, like everything, and investigated, and it was still a haunted location. Mm-hmm. But like, of course, you know, like a place like Exchange Hotel, first thing I did was go directly to that room where they said no women can go in there whatsoever. And I'm like, say less, right? Mm-hmm. Like, hold my beer. I'm going in. Within probably 3 minutes of being in that room, I was nauseous. I felt like shit. I was getting pissed off for no reason, like none whatsoever. I got real bitchy, like real. And so immediately I sat there and I'm like, I've done this now for like 16, 17 years almost. And I'm like, okay, stop, think. Why are you getting sick? You were perfectly fine. You ate, you're hydrated. You slept well the night before. What's going on? Sean, grab your tri-field. So here he comes, and it's just off the charts, EMF in that room. I said, that's why women can't go in there. So then I did a bunch of scientific research about how EMF affects women versus men. And women are affected more by high EMF levels than men. Men are still affected, but women tend to be more so affected by high levels of EMF. James said I had them kill all the power at a museum once and had off the chart EMF. You could feel it.
I mean, women are taught from a very young age to be wary of everything around you. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a paranormal investigator or, you know, a soccer mom, like you've got feelers, you know, like I'm putting the feelers out, like you've got those little energetic feelers. Every woman has them. Like you've been taught from a young age to be that way, to, you know, danger, fight or flight. And so, it doesn't surprise me that you found that women are more affected by it. Yeah. I mean, especially, I know like the women, like women that don't have kids versus women that do have kids. The women that do have kids, theirs is off the chart. Like their feelers are off the chart. You know, mom has eyes in the back of her head is an old joke, but I mean, it's kind of true. Like it's kind of
true. It is. As a mom, I can attest to that one. I don't know where they are. They're back here somewhere, but you know, 2-year-olds got a little quiet. Something's up. Y'all are doing something.
But EMF is a big thing in the paranormal world. I think it's one of the biggest problems, I'd say, is like the black K2 with the little lights on them. You know, depending on which one you get, people are using them. It's giving a lot of false readings. I've got K2s that will blink at the drop of a hat. Anything you move it a little bit, it blinks. You sit still, the window blow, it'll blink. And then people are using that as evidence. And they're not properly detecting EMF. And then investigators, it's dangerous. If you're in a place and you're getting high K2 spikes, people are saying that's evidence. And then they're staying in that location for a long period of time. That EMF is affecting them in a negative way. And I think that it's very dangerous. And it's not something that's talked about. People are just saying this location is full of EMF. It's got to be haunted. No, it's because it's 160 years old and it's got the same wiring from 1910.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It can affect you really badly. There's a place in Eureka Springs, the Crescent Hotel. I grew up going there, and I took my kid over there a couple of years ago. And there's an area of the hallway where they are like, oh, well, people get sick and weak knee here and so on. And my kid did, you know, my kid's like, you know, rolling her eyes like, okay, you know, and all of a sudden she was like, I kind of feel like I'm gonna pass out. I'm like, okay, well then let's go sit down. You know, like let's go sit down. So yeah.
Michelle said my mom knew I was in a car accident before I even called her. Moms know, man. I'm trying to tell you. For all them kids that are listening, we see you.
Yeah,
Okay.
all them kids that are listening.
Yeah, all them kids out there. We hollering. She said blah blah blah. What is the most common spiritual ailment that you see in people today?
It's gonna sound really weird, but self-doubt. Self-doubt.
Funny
And-
that you say that.
And it's I mean, if you're always marketed to your entire life, like you're never going to feel like you're good enough because you don't have a BMW or you don't have this purse or you don't have, whatever. So that affects us in a deep level spiritually, because then we question everything. Like, okay, wait a minute. Did I really just have that gut feeling? Or, is it this or this or this or this? So that self-doubt starts to creep in. And when that happens, it can cause a lot of problems in everything. Because if you think about it, if you doubt yourself, you're going to doubt yourself in every single way possible. Like, well, am I strong enough? Am I smart enough? Am I big enough? Am I, cool enough? You start to do that. So it affects your mental layer of your aura. It affects your emotional layer of your aura. And then that in tune is going to affect your clairs, because if you're already doubting yourself, then, is that really a voice in my head? Am I crazy? Or is that old man Jenkins over here who's fixing to yeet me out of the room because he doesn't like women in here? So yeah, self-doubt. I can tell by looking at someone's aura, like when I'm doing an energy read or aura drawing or whatever, I can tell how they view themselves. Are they very closed in? Is their aura very packed, super teeny tiny packed tight? Are they big and open? I mean, there's a happy medium. Don't be either one of those. Okay. But yeah, I can tell really, really easily. And I get so many people constantly that, will book appointments or reads or whatever. And then they're like, well, it's funny you say that. I've been feeling this, or all of these things happen. And I'm like, all of that is confirmation. All of this, you didn't need me. Like, you didn't need me.
Yeah.
You already had the universe. Like, here is all of this. But yeah, self-doubt is the biggest thing. It is the biggest thing.
Now, do people that are having self-doubt or other, like, what am I trying to say? So do people that have maybe suffering from mental health issues read a certain way? Like you said, people that had like near death experiences are like metallic to you, or a death experience rather, and came back. Do people with severe mental health ailments read differently to you than, say, like a normal person? Or if there's somebody that's going through something really deep, do you see that before you do their actual aura color, like of their whole person?
I don't know if see is the right word. You can
Or
feel
fear?
it. You can feel it, but it's from being around people for so long. And I know that both of you two work in that industry. So I know that, when somebody first comes in as an intake, and you're looking at them, you're like, okay, then, like you just get, you get the feel from it, but when I'm doing their aura and I'm sitting there holding their hand, I can see a lot. Like if you nerded through my website at all, you'll notice that all those drawings are different shapes. They're different sizes. Sometimes, the colors will be a little teeny tiny layer on one side, and then the other side they're big, and so on. There's an aura drawing on there that's all this crazy spiky red with a black jagged line up the middle. That person right there I drew that from just a couple minute, a handshake and a hug from that person. It hit me so hard. I was like, all right, well, let me go draw this, because holy shit, so it shows up. It definitely shows up. It doesn't show up in the aura. Okay, let me pause. It shows up for me because of the synesthesia, like if I were to touch someone. But aura wise, that you can train to see, it'll make your aura smaller, but it's not going to, anybody that's just reading auras is not going to really catch that. So does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. I know you had a question too. I know we're.
Yeah, if somebody's skeptical about your aura reading and what you do, have you ever provided the healing to them or psychological healing to someone who is a skeptic, or have you ever changed their mind?
Yes, ask me again. It was cutting out.
So, like, have you ever changed the mind of a skeptic or provided psychological healing to someone who is a skeptic of your work?
Mhm. I tell this story all the time. I am like such good friends with this person to this day. I was at a little tiny convention, and there was an actor there named James Stokes. He plays Jason in one of the fan films, right? And I was working on somebody else doing some Reiki and stuff, and his booth was by the women's bathroom, you know. And so I went to the bathroom. I came out, and he was like, "Hey," he said, what were you doing over there for him?" And I told him, and he said, would you do that for me? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, I think I'm just going to do some energy work on him. Right. And, you know, I'm standing behind him. He's sitting in a chair. I put my hands down on his shoulders like this, you know, and instantly, like my whole jaw, I felt like my whole jaw was like this, like I couldn't close it. And I have TMJ. So I know, you know, like I know how it feels to me, but this was different. I couldn't close my mouth. I suddenly was shaking. And I started seeing this weird shit. And I'm like, dude, okay, like, what's up with your jaw, homie? Like, I can't close my mouth. I thought he was going to come out of his chair. He turned around so fast, and he was like, how do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that? Like, so fast, he turned around. And I was like, dude, I don't know. It's your jaw. Like, shit. Like, I just can't close my mouth when my hands are on your shoulders. Like, what's up? And so he starts telling me all of this stuff, right? And I mean, I think we were kind of instant friends from that point. But we sat for a long time and just talked and so on. And I actually ended up going around sitting in front of him and holding his hand for a minute and kind of reading him and so on. But that happens a lot. And I'll have people test me because I will do it on social media in a room of, you know, 600-700 people and read somebody that might be sitting in Australia. And they're like, holy shit, how'd you know that? Like, it's just, I'm good at what I do. I guess like I'm good at what I do. But yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. So Ronnie put a question up for you.
What's a good color and a bad color? Aura wise, like with your aura that I see, there's not really a bad color. Everybody likes to joke, say, oh, my aura's black. I mean, that's not a bad color, you know, to me, because I know the meaning behind it. Every single color, my camera's going in and out. Every single color has good and a bad meaning to it. But voices are a little different. I know that when I see certain colors of voices, there are two. That I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to talk to you. One is like kind of an, if you took like army drab green and made it a little more, I don't know how to explain it. It's slightly off color from army drab green.
Like baby shit green?
Kind of, but it's still got that olivey tone to it. And then also like gray poupon mustard. If I see those colors, I'm out, because I have learned that both of those colors, that is somebody that is very, very abusive, whether it's like emotionally, physically, whatever. I was at a convention years and years ago, like 2021, and there was an actor there that played in Home Alone, not Macaulay Culkin, let me say that, an actor that played in Home Alone. And I was excited. Like I wore my ugly Christmas sweater that had the Home Alone stuff on it, you know, like I was all excited, right? And when I heard his voice in person, phones, media, technology does sometimes change the color of someone's voice. And I have learned that actors can change the color of their voice when they're in character. But when I saw the color of his voice in person, I was like, oh, like I instantly was like, oh no, you know, I was like, no. And then I shook his hand. I went over, his girlfriend wanted to meet me. And so I met him and shook his hand. And I was like, oh no, I was like, no. I like went like a little 5-year-old kid, like my hands dragging beside me back to my booth. I was like, son of a bitch. Like now that movie's ruined for me, like son of a bitch. And so I'm sitting there and I'll be damned if he didn't end up going to jail in Oklahoma City for knocking the shit out of her in the hotel. Like it just, and I even told the promoter, I was like, I'm just letting you know, like, just watch, just be careful. So yeah. I mean, there's a reason that I don't touch people a lot. There's a reason that I'm single. Like there's a reason for all that. So yeah.
Yeah, imagine like getting into a relationship and you go to give your first hug.
I love the shit out of him.
I get to meet him in June. We get to meet him in June. So we're excited. But yeah, like I said, imagine getting into a relationship. I think we have a lag.
I had reached out to him to see if he wanted to come to Shauna's event. And he was like, well, are you going to be there? I was like, well, yeah, like I wouldn't, I'm not your agent at Holmes. Like, I'm not going to just call you, be like, yo, but, so I'm excited. I haven't seen him. I had him at my shop, doing a signing, and I had to get up and do something, and I handed him a deck of cards, and I was like, here, read. Cause I was on a live stream and he was like, I don't know. What do I do? So I'm excited. I haven't seen him in a while, and I'm super excited. He just got married. I can't wait to meet his wife. Like, I'm so excited. I'm excited to see him.
That's awesome. So I know we are going over tonight, guys, because there is a whole nother side to Bodhi that you guys haven't even met. I'm so fascinated with the aura drawings and the aura readings that I failed to mention Bodhi also does this awesome practice of Warrior Reiki. Now, I always thought that Reiki was, and I actually confessed this to Bodhi, was like healing somebody with your hands through the practice of Reiki. And the example I used was my oldest boy's great grandmother practiced Reiki healing. And when I was pregnant with my oldest son, I was going to these chiropractors and they were not working, but he carried really low. I was a tiny thing. I was young. Yeah, imagine that. I was tiny. But
aren't we all?
but nothing was helping my back. And she said, come over. And when I walked in, she had like a whole vibe going and like this low music, and like she did, I don't know, y'all, what she did to my back, but she like did this thing and then just held her hands there. And I remember looking around like, what is this cuckoo lady doing? She's not moving. This isn't going to work. And then I started getting real tired. And I think I might have fallen asleep, guys. And it might have been the whole mood that was set. She had like candles going and stuff. But when I got up, it was like night and day. And so I always thought Reiki was like that, but you practice Warrior Reiki, which I, again, had to go down a rabbit hole for because I was not versed in this. So please explain to people what exactly is Warrior Reiki. What's up, Terry?
As I mentioned, like at the beginning, I started in 2013 on kind of a journey of learning Reiki. I, at this point, hold master, grandmaster, master teacher in 11 different forms of Reiki. I just got addicted to it, couldn't stop. And I realized really quickly that that's not going to work for everybody, because and I see it all the time. People say, oh, well, I don't feel Reiki from anybody, but I feel it from you. Why? And so my instant response is because your brain is broken, you're neurospicy, and that's why. So
I love that. Say that one more time. Neurospicy.
Yeah, neurospicy.
That is great.
Yeah.
Neurospicy.
You've never heard neurospicy?
Never.
It is.
That's me. I identify as spicy.
I have epilepsy. I have like my ADHD has ADHD. Like it's so bad. I cannot sit still. It hurts me physically to sit still. But people that are neurospicy respond more to frequencies and like ASMR. That's why ASMR is such a huge thing on social media. They respond to that. There's a whole area of Reiki called quantum Reiki, and it deals with frequencies and things like that. And so I was like, I realized that after about a year and a half of learning all these different modalities, that when I practiced on people, I was cherry picking from all of these things and creating something different. And so I thought, wait a minute, I thought I was like customizing this for each person, but I'm really doing the same basic thing and just handing them different crystals. And so I'm like, okay, so let's brain this. Let's think about this. So when I do Warrior Reiki, and I do a session every Monday and usually every Thursday as well, and I have in April will be 6 years that I've been doing it on TikTok. But I've been doing it on social media like Facebook, all that stuff since 2019. I play specific types of music because of the frequencies that are in there, because of the drum beats that are in there. I use specific movements with my hands. I also use I am trained in pranic healing and mudras, which is what I do with my fingers and stuff. And people always make a joke about Naruto, which that is exactly what they're using. Those are for energy channeling. So when you see people that are meditating and holding their hands a certain way, they're channeling energy in their body. So I combine all of that with different aspects of Reiki, and the Reiki that I do is not slow and calm. I don't know if you watched or whatever.
Oh, I watched. I love it.
It looks a little insane, but I mean, it has grown and grown and grown. And I had Matt Frazier, who is a very famous psychic medium, reach out to me and ask me to be on his podcast. And I found out like he's a big fan of Warrior Reiki, him and his wife. Like I was super humbled by that. I was like, oh my God, really? But then I was like, well, duh. I mean, he's one of the most famous mediums. He's obviously neurospicy. Like, of course it hit him where it needed to. And so a lot of people respond to it where they don't respond to the normal, like laying on of hands or normal Reiki, because of all the aspects to it. So I always tell people it's not meant to be nice and calm and gentle. It's kind of meant to beat all the bad crap out of you and then replace it with something good to help you feel more like yourself again.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Bodhi. I pride myself. I told you this the first time I talked to you on transparency. Before I even knew who you were, before I knew who Shauna was, you popped on my FYP. I said, what the hell is this woman doing? And it was so much that I watched it because I'm like, this is actually fascinating. And I'm like trying to keep up because you're very methodical and very, very like, it's almost like a trance watching you on TikTok. It really is. That's the best way I can describe it. And I remember I caught myself watching and I had my AirPods in. I think Sean was like watching a movie or something. And I was just like, this is actually fascinating. And so if I am on TikTok on the nights that you are live, you might see me pop in as Hill City Paranormal. That's me. I think I did last week, and I'd put the little heart above your head, and I felt bad that it went above your head because I was like, oh my gosh, she's concentrating, and this enormous fan club heart just went above her head. But then I didn't feel bad because you had like 20 more that followed it. So I was like, okay, I'm not the only one. Great.
I'm so used to it at this point.
And I was just like, but I'm like, that is really freaking cool. And I know at the Creep It Real Festival in June, you're going to be doing an actual live Warrior Reiki session. So I'm stoked for that because we get to see it up close, personal, and not through a screen. Now,
I did a small one last year. I stood up on the catwalk and did it for everybody down below. And like I guess I broke some people. I had people that were crying everywhere. So when Shauna asked me to do it again this year, I was like, "You sure about that? Like, you sure about that?" I don't know.
Some people need to, man. You got to get all that bad stuff off of you. And I am a firm believer that crying isn't always a bad thing.
That just gave me an idea, and now I'm gonna have to message Shauna when I get off of here. So I don't know if you have been to the Old Stone Jail, but there's a dungeon area down there, and I got to go in it afterwards because I was worn out after Creep It, and my legs were rubber, so I was like, I ain't making it up and down those stairs. Like, this is not a good idea. So we got to go in the next day, Sass and I, just for a few minutes down there, and had such intense experiences down there. And so I told Shauna, I was like, well, one of my stipulations of coming to Creep It this year is that I would like to go in the jail and down in the dungeon, because I promised them I'd come back. Like, I promised them I'd come back, you know, and I promised whiskey, so I'm gonna bring some whiskey, you know. So I wonder, I have never done a Reiki session in a place like that where someone has actually died. I mean, I did it, you know, up there in the jail, but I'm now curious. So now I'm gonna message Sean and be like, hey, so here's what I want to do. And I want to film it.
Good idea.
I think if we had cameras set up, I wonder how the activity would be, because the activity, you saw the orbs last night. That was after a Reiki session in here.
Right. And Ronnie, if you're still in here, I need to message you. We need to get Bodhi over to EnigmaCon this year. And for those that are in here that have locations and events and things like that, I guess we can now officially announce that if you would like to have Bodhi at your location, please reach out to yours truly at Hill City After Dark. We will be more than happy to make sure that Bodhi makes her appearance at your location. She does gallery readings, aura drawings, and obviously live Reiki Warrior sessions, which I can't wait to see. I feel like I need to purchase, though, like a bunch of bracelets so I can get on your level.
That's part of the neurospicy aspect. Like, that helps. What's really funny is, and you'll find, especially with what you two do for a living, people that have the loudest brains, I'm just going to say it that way, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. Their brain doesn't shut up. They have a loud brain. I have to sleep the thunderstorms or something like that, or I don't sleep. Like, I am sleeping like shit. On. Yeah, if I don't have a fan, or so, you know what I mean? And if I don't have a fan and thunderstorms going, I ain't sleeping. So the bracelets help your brain. It kind of gives that part of your brain that won't shut up something to focus on. So that's a lot of why I use that. And that is why you feel the other stuff so damn much, because the part of your brain that's worried, you know, is the stove all the way off? Oh, I got to go to work tomorrow. Or, you know, the part of your brain that's doing that is focused on the bracelets, because it's like, oh, that's a sound I know that's bracelets. So it's why you think better when you're driving or, you know, sitting in the bathtub, because your brain is occupied, your hands are occupied. So
I love it. I love it. Now, before we wrap this up, guys, I wanted to share my screen with everybody really quick so that you guys can kind of get a feel for exactly what an aura drawing looks like. Despite, you know, what you might be thinking, when I think of aura drawing, it actually was exactly what I pictured, but I may not be like everybody else. You might be picturing something different, but I really was picturing almost like ink blot level, or like a feeling put on paper. And if I was to ever draw a feeling on paper, it would look probably not as good as this, because I am absolutely not an artist, but something similar to this. But I did want to share it with you guys so that you guys can see here. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, there it is. All right. So guys, this is Blue Bodhi's website. If you want to check it out and dive deeper into it, it is thebluebodhi.com. She has, as she said, done multiple drawings for celebrities. You've got Michael Berryman right here. A lot of you may know him. That's why I stopped on that. She's done aura drawings for Paul Wall, baby.
I might cause a cold front if I take a deep breath.
The people's champ.
He's so nice. You get high just by being within 5 feet of him, but he's so nice. He's so nice.
Contact. But yeah, I mean, these are examples of her aura drawings.
That is Vinny.
This is Vinny,
the drummer for Black Sabbath. Yeah.
Yep. So
Dugan and I are still good friends. I made Dugan cry when I did. That is Grandpa from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
I got his shirt.
And so yeah, Dugan and I are good friends. He'll randomly message me every now and then. He's crazy, man. I love him.
I love this. I love this one. I want to stop right here, and you guys can. I'm gonna force y'all to go to her website and check it out. But I love how it says right here: dark, depressing, and hilarious.
So that is Drew Fortier. He's if I remember right, he's in Megadeth and a couple other things. And he was next to Vinny at a convention I was at. I got drugged all the way across the convention to do Vinny, who is extremely nice as well. He is so deaf. I can't even imagine, but so Drew was sitting there and he was doing this and he kept doing that. And when I got up, he said, "What is that?" And I said, "Oh, it's an aura drawing." I kind of quickly gave him the rundown. He kind of leaned in. He's like, "Would you do mine?" I was like, "Yeah, I would," and so I did it. And when he looked at it after I read it, explained it to him and everything, he goes, Can I just take this as a resume?" And I'm like, "That's up to you. You're like yours, So he signed that book. He signed that book to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. I know you are getting ready to wrap it up. Most of our followers hop on over to the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show, but Sean had a couple more things before we give you back some of your time for tonight, right?
What's up?
Just a quick question. How do your own energies get affected by doing this? And how do you protect yourself? Like, how do you keep from letting other people's energy affect you?
I have a lot of tattoos, and my tattoos are for specific meanings. One of the first ones I had done is this one to put me in. This is some of my own artwork, but to put me where I need to be. And then I have a big protective piece right here because the left side is what you take in and the right side is what you give out. So the vast majority of my protections are here. I also have 23 lines of Enochian down my back, like specific writing, from neck to the base of my spine. I learned really, really quickly that in doing conventions and bigger scale things, instead of just having an appointment, crystals aren't enough sometimes. Like crystals aren't enough, and sigils on your shoes, some of it's not enough. And even with this stuff, it doesn't affect me as much now that I've been doing it so long and I've kind of got a little bit of a shield up. But there's still every now and then that I'll have to go in the bathroom and cry, like maybe I just touch somebody that's lost a child or something like that. Like I gotta go cry. So I am that person at convention. Once the convention part is over, I don't really like to hang out with a lot of people, like I'm down to go ghost hunt. Like, let's go do that. But sometimes it is hard for me to shake it off. And then even though I've been doing this a long time, there are still people that stick with me. They're like my favorite peoples, they can pop in my live and I instantly stop and say hi because of that kind of thing. So I don't know that I've even found a good way to protect myself from everybody. I have learned to trust my gut really hardcore, that if I get a vibe that I don't need to do a reading for somebody, I won't. Absolutely won't. And it's not, I used to laugh at people would say, "Oh, well, I went to Belize and wanted to get a tattoo and the lady didn't like my energy or whatever." And that they might be the greatest person, but the lady said no, and I was like, well, that's kind of bullshit. Like, you just threw away money. But at this point, I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth me soaking up whatever it is you're trying to give me. So I don't know that I have yet to perfect all the protections, but there are people that still affect me decades later. So I would.
Do you use anything for protection? Like I know you mentioned crystals, but is there anything else that you use?
Oh, I am full on crazy. Like I have a whoopee. If you ever hear me talk about my whoopee, I have a hoodie that has patches from all over the place. I have one of my grandpa was a Pearl Harbor survivor and had a jacket he wore all the time. And I have a patch that's directly right here, that protection. There's every stitch of my clothing has marker inside of it. My shoes have marker all over them. Like I legit look like I should have a grippy sock vacation if you ever saw the inside of my clothing and stuff. But I have learned what works for me, things like that. I do wear a lot of crystals. This is one, if you guys have watched me for any length of time or whatever, I never take it off, like for certain reasons.
it depends where I'm at. It depends where I'm at, what level of protection I need. So.
And what are 3 things you can recommend someone to do to clean their energy field?
Ooh, it's funny you mentioned that. Oh, something I gotta do here in a little bit. This is gonna sound really funny, but it's one of the easiest things you can do. Everybody knows about, incense or sage or smoke or whatever. There are 2 main things that I recommend to everybody. One is internal, one is external. Internal, just drinking water with lime in it will help to cleanse you spiritually. And just a little bit of lime. That's it, fresh lime. But lime is for spiritual cleansing. Lemon is for like physical cleansing. And then with anytime you're in the shower, wash out here. You're going to feel so stupid when you do it. I've done it for years and I still feel stupid. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm literally like this. But your aura, you can feel where your own aura is. Like if you were to rub your hands together or clap them and kind of activate like what we were talking about earlier, and then take your hand and just start doing this, like you'll feel pushback. You'll feel a buzz or pushback or warmth. And that's going to tell you where your aura sits. If you look at your aura like a layer of mud, it has to be washed. Everybody has mud. And no matter where you are during the day, people are going to come up against you. You might not touch them, but their energy is going to meet yours somewhere and you're going to catch a little bit and vice versa. And you have to cleanse that. I usually do mine every time I'm in the shower because of what I do for a living. But I recommend like at least once a week. Like you're gonna feel stupid. Like you just will. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm washing out here, Oregon. But when you get out of the shower, you're gonna be like, oh, you will probably sleep amazing, be more like it's the weirdest thing. But if you've never done that, then you should and see how you feel. It's crazy. It's crazy. There was one. Did you see it?
Yep. Another friend showed up. He was exiting your aura at that point.
All right, she's talking about cleansing the aura.
Gotta go. That's my exit cue. So you're saying, I just want to say, so you're saying literally get a lather. And I'm going to try this. Okay. So yeah, you are right. I'm probably going to feel stupid. I'm probably going to be like cussing you out in the shower, and I'm going to be like, what the hell is Bodhi talking about? Wait a minute.
No, you're on to something, Bodhi, because I believe now I've never done this in the shower like a robot. I do the robot though. That might be why. That's
why you're in the shower for so long.
I dance in the shower, baby. I get jiggy with it in the shower. But now for real though, like I believe I've always talked about my ritual before I investigate.
You do?
I always talk, even before the show and before I've ever heard of you. I've always took a shower before I investigated. I believe that cleanliness is the closest thing to godliness. Yeah. Always believe that. Always believe you got to clean before. You got to take a shower before you never investigate dirty. Never have.
So always. Like the ghosts are like, skirt, can't touch him because I'm just going to slip right off. You got to
clean yourself before you investigate. I've always done it. And so like this is like, so the next step is I need to clean my energy. I need to clean my aura. So I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
For extra layer of protection. I'm dead serious. I'm going to try it.
No, I'm going to do it because
step 1 was to clean your body. I saw I was on to something with that.
I'm going to do it because I absorb a lot. I'm an absorber.
Bodhi just like elevated my confidence that I halfway know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Bodhi.
Well, I will say if you need to tweak it, if you have a specifically bad day at work or, an incident or something like that, or you're at a location and you have a really bad incident, my advice is to get like one of the little tiny ramekins or whatever, from the Dollar Tree or whatever, put some salt water in it. And instead of lather or whatever, put your washcloth or something in that, because salt will cleanse that just like it cleanses everything else. So if you have a particularly bad encounter or a bad day, it can be any kind of salt, just a little bit of salt water, cleansing your aura with it.
You're gonna see me walk in with just a whole bottle.
I'm doing a robot, baby. We live, baby. I'm doing a robot. So, last question. I promise we've held you a long time already.
No, this has been awesome.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I have so many questions.
I know.
Like
Bodhi, we got a lot to talk about.
After this podcast, I'm gonna be like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, we calling. We calling on the telephone.
She's gonna hit the ignore and send one of those texts. I'll call you later.
I gotta go live still tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta go live right after this.
What do you feel about smoke and cleansing? Because like my ritual number 2 that I have. If I'm, and this is a case where, and we went live on it the other night where the one time I've almost gotten attachment and I could feel it. I guess because I'm so spiritual, and I don't talk about being spiritual a lot, but I'm very spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person. But the one time, that's right, Robert, we live, baby. Yeah. I was the one time I almost got an attachment, I use smoke to cleanse. And my ritual is I smoke cigars. That comes from a lot of native background that I have. But I will smoke.
She's a cigar. You know she's
I will light my Padron. It's got to be a Padron. I will light a Padron to cleanse if I feel there's danger or something evil. That is my one. That's number 1, the offering. Number 2, I believe the smoke from a cigar, the tobacco in a cigar will cleanse because of all the spices that are in a cigar. A lot of people don't understand what's in a cigar, and a lot of it's spices. As the cigar burns, there's more and more spices in them. What do you feel about that? Just your opinion.
Well, first of all, we friends.
I knew there was a reason why we click here. I knew we got along for a reason. We never met, but we got to see there's a connection. And you talked about my favorite color, and you didn't even know me the first time we chatted.
It's true.
And did that turn you from a skeptic into not? So I grew up with the Native American aspect too. Like I'm whiter than I would even think I'm white, but like glow in the dark white. But I grew up with a dad who comes from Cherokee and Potawatomi lineage. He always smoked a pipe. He always had cigars, and he always was very specific on what he used, the spices, etc. And I mean, so that's just natural to me. But tobacco is a universal offering in pretty much in everything. Like every single Native American tribe, tobacco, things like that. You offer tobacco because it was expensive. You know, it's something special and sacred and so on. So that is an offering. So that helps to cleanse that as well. But the act of smoke cleansing itself, every single culture around the world has that, some kind of smoke cleanse. And so I feel like that is a huge thing. There's a lot of times I carry an emergency witch kit with me, and I have like 4 or 5 different types of bundles in there. Not just, sage. I carry black sage, I carry cedar, I carry like all these different things because sometimes you need something different. And I was specifically taught, do your hands, do the smoke on your hands and the bottoms of your feet. But I will go and sit and just, smoke and just let the smoke roll. I also was taught to pay attention to the smoke. I take a lot of photos of smoke because of it. If I've had a really gnarly day and I'm trying to cleanse myself, I'll take photos and then look at those photos and just, see what I see, etc. But yeah, that's a practice I grew up with as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of spice cigars. I usually don't smoke anything that's not. Anytime I go to New Orleans, there's a shop down there called the Cigar Factory. And they hand roll cigars in there. And so I get hand rolled cigars. Yeah.
Yeah, I pay attention to the smoke, how it's flowing, which way it's going to go. Is it going up? Is it going as a cloud? Is it stringy? Definitely that. I'm a pipe smoker too, as well. Big pipe smoker. I know that's weird to hear me say that, but I am. I got a whole collection of pipes from the 1800s and everything. I'm a weird guy. I'm a very weird person.
I'm going to be, you guys are going to run off and I'm going to find you guys smoking cigars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I'm already like, I've got an extra cigar that I've been hoarding a couple of them from Mardi Gras from last year. Like they've been just perfect, I'm like, what else can I bring when I come? My dad gave me
now you got to bring some cigars.
We can trade. We can trade. If you need a spiritual break during this session, remember, I'm your protector that weekend,
Yeah, just let your security know.
Just be like, hey, Sean, I need to get out of here for a second. I got you. Look, and the other guy that's on my squad, guess what? As a friendship, he said, hey, Sean, I'm going to offer you a cigar. And he and I became best friends instantly, too.
Yeah.
You'll like him when you meet him. His name is Chris
Mendez.
And he does a lot of filming. So I know that's something.
So he's a hell of a investigator as
Oh,
well.
Daryl too. Look,
So yeah,
we're all going to be in a cigar
listen,
circle.
Daryl runs the Appomattox jail here,
And
the Spirit of Clover Hill. I'm more partial to the jail. Sorry, Daryl.
I got a ghost boyfriend at the jail, so
look,
I'm partial.
So when you come to Virginia, you've got cigars and a jail to investigate. It looks like you got the right team, Bodhi.
That just sounds horrible. I don't know. It sounds horrible.
Oh, we got to go and like hog tie her and bring her over to Virginia.
No, I mean, it just keeps getting better and better. I'm like, so apparently, like, I need to be friends with Daryl so we can all go sit and hang out. And
Daryl's
smoke
good people.
cigars and then go play in the jail.
Yep.
Yeah, Daryl's a good guy. He is.
Yeah, Daryl's an awesome person to have in your corners. Awesome. And if you come to Enigma Cons, you'll definitely meet him there. And we can, if you're coming, we'll wrap that weekend around and we'll see if we can't get like a Friday night investigation and a Saturday night or something like that. We'll see what we can do.
Might be able to get an event or something that weekend. Clover Hill be a good place to have an event.
Yes.
Clover Hill be perfect.
The wheels are turning.
I'm down. We'll
yes, the jail is. Yep, we'll be chatting. So, are there any other questions that you have for Bodhi, or is there any questions that anybody has in the comments?
We'll call you, but if there's any more in the comments,
yep. Where can everybody find you, Bodhi?
I am the Blue Bodhi everywhere, often imitated, never duplicated, but I am on all the social. I go live every single Monday on TikTok and YouTube. If I can get Facebook to work, if it likes me that night, I will be. But every single Monday at 8:30, I do 8:30 Central. Let me say that I do a full Warrior Reiki session, and then I give you a cheat sheet of what your week's going to look like for your zodiac sign. And I'm always somewhere, everywhere, all the time. I probably should take a break. I probably should.
I gotta ask you too. Do you use a sound bowl?
Sometimes, yeah, but not a crazy amount. Something, yeah.
I use mine. I've been using mine.
Look, right Robert's trying to get us to Florida. Robert sent me a video of this haunted hotel near him and said that we all need to get to Florida. I think just vacay.
We're gonna get to Florida.
A haunted vacay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I have a big fan base in Florida. I'm down. Go.
Oh, we could book an event. See,
as long as I can bring my cigars, I'm good.
I mean,
look, we do Civil War reenactments, and Courtney's yelling at me because all I do is sit at camp when we're not on the battlefield.
The entire time,
smoking my pipe and my cigar. I'm like an old man just sitting in my chair.
Can't find Sean. This is what you see out the side of his mouth.
That's funny.
I'm just like, what is this? What is going? Take it out of your mouth.
That's all right. I'm gonna bring Bodhi a cigar.
Yeah, we gotta bring her some cigars. That'll be cool.
Do you like them bold or you like them light?
I like more light. I do like spiced. Like I usually carry. There's a cigarillo called Capone, Al Capone's. Those are my favorite. I carry those everywhere. Just as a quick, like let me do something small. Those are just little cigarillos. But like Sweet Jane's, Leather Roses, those are like my favorite, like bulk made ones, I guess, if that makes sense. So anything with like a spice to it, those are my favorites.
Feel like
I wonder if she would like that one that I like. The one time you got me to smoke a cigar, it was like a chocolate mint.
Oh, bet I'm down.
And it was so good. And I was like, oh god,
that one, that Java, it's Java.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it was Java. Oh my god,
she's more into the flavor. I'm more into like the bold.
Yeah, I like
really
flavor
strong
stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. So everybody that's still with us, guys, thank you for hanging out. You can follow the Blue Bodhi on all socials at the Blue Bodhi. I've got it right down below. And
hashtag
also
get the Bodhi.
Yep. Hashtag get the Bodhi. And check out her website, guys. Super interesting, educational information on there, thebluebodhi.com. And then you can also check her out this year. So far, we've got the Creep It Real Festival, June 20th, Evansburg, Pennsylvania, and more to come. I'm going to leave that open-ended because we are diligently working at this time. We're not trying to overwhelm, but we are working. So she may be overwhelmed.
I mean,
We're
that's how I
hoping.
live my life.
We're hoping. So, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we couldn't do this without you guys. Grand time. We'll see you next time. James, Daryl, Robert, thank you.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Yep. And you can catch us every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, I do have to put in one plug before we leave. Guys, if you are attending our event, Friday, February 13th at the historic Sandusky House right here in Lynchburg, Virginia, we are on an official low ticket warning. I have 5 tickets left. 5 out of all night. So if you guys were thinking about attending and you just weren't sure what you were doing, now's your opportunity. Go buy the tickets. They're on our page. But until next time, guys.
Yeah, only 5 spots left, y'all.
Yep.
And it's not overwhelming. It's not crowded. It's not like you're going to be stepping over each other for evidence. We kept the group small.
For a reason and did multiple times.
Yeah, so there's 2 different time slots, but it's just 5 spots left. So
Yep.
it ain't like you're going to be investigating with 30 people. So if you're thinking it's like a room
Not
full
at
of 30
all.
people, it's not that way.
Not at all.
But there's only 5 spots left.
Yep. But this isn't an over-investigated location either. So
Yeah.
you definitely
We've
want to
only
jump
done
on
one
this.
event with it, y'all, so far.
Yep.
This is the second event we've done with it. Courtney and I have investigated a few times.
Right.
So we did declare it haunted. So we did get some evidence. If you're about the evidence, we've got videos on our TikTok about
Yeah,
it.
send us a message. I'll send them your way. So, but until next time, guys, I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean
And we'll see you
on the other side.
on the other side.